What's up, guys? Welcome back to Touchdown Talk, your podcast where everything and anything football goes. We have some breaking news right now. Deebo Samuel has requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers. It is insane to see the season that Deebo had last year, and now he's requesting a trade from the 49ers. This has been in the works for a while, in my opinion. We saw a video that Deebo posted that he was receiving racist messages and death threats, and then we saw that there was reports that he halted the contract talks between him and the 49ers. And then as soon as yesterday, there was rumors and reports that on Facebook, his brother was saying that Deebo will not be a 49er and that Deebo is requesting a trade from the 49ers. And after all that, all the rumors, all the reports, the dust has settled and it is true, it is final. Deebo Samuel has requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers. A huge deal this offseason. We just keep on getting hit with epic hit out of nowhere from not only receivers but every player around the league. And it just so happens to be the wide receivers that are setting the market on fire. This receiving market is ablaze this offseason. We saw Adams get dealt, which we never thought would happen because of his connection with Rodgers. And now Deebo Samuel, who is one of the best receivers in the NFL, who we saw as a running back receiver dual threat last season, now he is on the move possibly. Now, it's not official that the 49ers are going to trade him. They may or may not trade him. And just today, a few minutes ago, there was a report from Josina Anderson that there's a feeling within the Jets organization that Deebo Samuel won't be moved unless the 49ers get a king's ransom in return. Now, a king's ransom is what it's going to take to get Deebo Samuel, and that is the entire purpose of this video. I saw that Ian Rappaport made a couple teams, as in the Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs, New York Jets, and Detroit Lions, that could be in the mix for Deebo Samuel. Now, additionally, I added in the Philadelphia Eagles and New Orleans Saints, who I projected to draft a wide receiver in the first round, into this mix. Now, looking at these 6 teams, I made a mock trade for each team and what it would take for them to get Deebo Samuel onto their squad. So let's start with the favorite right now to acquire Deebo Samuel. Let's start with the Green Bay Packers. Right here, I have the Green Bay Packers trading for Deebo Samuel and the 49ers in return getting the 22nd overall pick in this year's draft, the 59th overall pick in this year's draft, a second round pick in 2023, and a 6th round pick in 2023. Now, this trade will be great for both sides. The 49ers do not have a first round pick, so they get their first round pick right here. It's towards the end, it's not in the beginning, but they aren't in need of a ton of positions, so they get the first round pick that they need. They get the 59th overall pick in the second round, and then they get a second next year along with the 6th next year and send Deebo to Green Bay, and then Deebo gets to play with Aaron Rodgers, reigning MVP 2 years in a row. Aaron Rodgers gets a wide receiver to replace Devontae Adams in Deebo Samuel. Next up, Ian Rappaport reported that the Jets are another top team, and with Josina Anderson's report, the Jets think it's going to take a king's ransom. So for the Jets, I have them trading number 10 overall in this year's draft. This could be number 4 overall if the Jets really want to get Deebo. I also have them trading the 69th overall pick in this year's draft, along with a first round pick next year. So this is going to be 2 firsts and a 3rd for Deebo Samuel. Now, the first round pick in this year's draft could vary between 10 and 4. The 49ers would probably most likely want the 4th overall pick unless the Jets add in something else. So in this one, I have them given a first round pick this year, whether it be 4 or 10. I'm predicting 10. A 69th overall, which is a 3rd round pick, and then a 2023 first round pick in order to get Deebo Samuel from the 49ers And then Deebo Samuel gets to go to the Jets, a young team. Zach Wilson at quarterback. He goes back to his old coach, even though he was on defense, Robert Saleh. He reunites with him in New York. He's in that New York market. And then additionally, he has Elijah Moore at receiver and Michael Carter at running back, a young team for Deebo Samuel. Another thing to keep out is the Jets missed out on Tyreek Hill. So they could be throwing all their chips on the table to get Deebo Samuel since they already missed out on Tyreek Hill. Next up, Ian Rappaport mentioned the Kansas City Chiefs. So let's see. I have the Kansas City Chiefs having to give up the 29th overall pick. So pretty late at the end of round 1. Number 40 overall. So in the middle of round 2, towards the beginning more of. So the 29th overall pick, the 40th overall pick, a second round pick in 2023, and a fourth round pick in 2023. Now the Chiefs are one of those teams that are always in the AFC Championship. They've been there with Patrick Mahomes 3 years in a row now. And now the Kansas City Chiefs lost Tyreek Hill. They traded him. So now using the picks that they got for him, they could get Deebo Samuel, having to give a first, a second, and then a second and fourth next year. And then teaming up Deebo with Juju and Marquez Valdez-Scantling on that team. Moving on to the next team in the Detroit Lions. For Detroit, I have them giving up, and this isn't going to look as much, but if you look closely, it's going to be a lot. I have Detroit giving up number 32 overall, number 34 overall, a first round pick next year, and a fourth round pick next year. Now, yes, 32 is at the back end. It's not up close like the other teams may be able to offer, but still Detroit putting their faith in Jared Goff one more year. They have DJ Chark there, so now bringing in Deebo Samuel into Detroit. You don't have to draft your quarterback at number 32. You don't know who's going to be left. So you get number 32, you 34, first and second round pick right back to back, almost nearly close to each other. Only one pick in between, which is the Jaguars. And then a first and fourth next year. Now the 49ers could do this because not only are they getting basically back-to-back picks at the end of round 1 and beginning of round 2, but then Detroit's going to have to pay Deebo. And that's where the conflict could come in. Because Detroit, yes, they would love to have Deebo, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pay him, especially with the contract of Jared Goff. So that could be a conflict. And then, if they do this trade, do they then take a quarterback at number 2 overall in order to get that quarterback for Deebo and have him come in without having to play with Jared Goff? So very interesting aspects looking at Detroit-wise. Then moving into 2 dark horse candidates in the Philadelphia Eagles and New Orleans Saints. Let's start with the Eagles. Now this is an interesting trade because the Eagles are probably well known taking a wide receiver in the first round. So the Eagles trading number 15 overall, number 83 overall, a second round pick next year, and Jalen Reagor. Now the Eagles have been fielding calls for Jalen Reagor. They want to get rid of him. And what better way than to ship him out and give the 49ers a receiving replacement to throw into their receiving room since they're going to be losing their best receiver. Now Jalen Reagor could be like a fill-in spot for their number 2, number 3 receiver next to Brandon Ayuk if they do lose Deebo. And then they get number 15 right in the middle of the first round. They get a first round pick. 83, they get a third round pick. And then they also get a second round pick next year. And they send Deebo to the Eagles. And the Eagles then have a stellar receiving core with Deebo Samuel, Devonta Smith, and then Quez Watkins in the slot, along with Dallas Goedert at tight end. And you have Jalen Hurts at quarterback, basically his sophomore year. But if you're looking at where he got drafted, it's his junior year. So that's a really young and youthful team to where Deebo Samuel could really want to go to Philly and Philly could be in the mix for Deebo because everyone knows that they need a wide receiver, and instead of drafting a rookie, you get Deebo Samuel. Then the last one I have here is the New Orleans Saints. Now, New Orleans is really interesting because they also have 2 first-round picks, and it's going to be challenging for them to get Deebo because there isn't a lot for them to offer. I do have them giving up the 19th overall pick, but that could be the 16th. They have 2. I have them giving up the 49th overall pick in the second round, and then the 120th overall pick in the 4th, along with a 4th-round pick next year. Now, Deebo Samuel to the Saints could be even more of a challenge because of the money that they would have to pay him, along with them just getting over the salary cap this year. So that could be challenging for the Saints. After looking at all these teams, another big component is where the 49ers want to deal him. I don't know if the 49ers are going to want to deal him to an NFC team because they might have to then face him. And then it comes down to Deebo Samuel and what he's going to be able to bring to a team, and they have to pay him. So that's going to be the challenge that teams may look at. Like, okay, maybe we don't give up this entire haul for Deebo and then have to give him a huge contract, where then we could just draft a rookie, have him for 4 years on a cheap deal, and not have to worry about paying him right now. So that's the same thing we saw with other receivers like Davante Adams and Tyreek Hill. But the Dolphins and Raiders had no problem trading for him. The only thing with these teams are, I don't think other than the Chiefs and the Packers that they are Super Bowl contenders right now. And then in there you have the Eagles, who are a playoff team. They possibly could win their division. And then the Saints, same thing. They could sneak into the playoffs. And then you have the Jets and Lions, who are at the bottom tier, but they still are young and figuring their stuff out. So that's going to be a culture thing in Detroit if they want to bring Deebo and if they think he'll fit. But the contract's going to be the number one thing if these teams want to give up this huge haul for Deebo and then have to pay him. And in addition to that, a report came out that Deebo does not want a running back receiver role. So this could also be a thing that teams look at, because a team might have been like, okay, let's get Deebo because we could throw him in at running back and receiver like he did last year. But I think that could be out of the window if this report comes out. So all in all, Deebo Samuel requests a trade. Now it's up to the 49ers to see who's trading, who's calling them, and where they want to send him. If they want to trade Deebo at all, they could be looking to fix the relationship if it's possible. But at this point, like Adams and Tyreek Hill, I think it needs to be done. Just like Davante Adams, it was too far gone. Now, I don't know the situation with Deebo and the team, but I think you got to get rid of him if you request a trade, because it's not going to look good next year if this is looming and it's an issue. So just rip off the Band-Aid, get a big haul in return for him, and not have to worry about problems within the organization. If you guys enjoyed the content, drop a like. If you enjoyed the designs, you can go check them out on my Instagram. And leave a comment down below on where you think Deebo Samuel is going to land if the 49ers trade him.